This is Chris again. I'm back with another video. Uh, since I had a lot of fun last time with these editing videos, so um, I'm going to go back and I went back to the house that we worked on last month, and because they wanted another shoot, and they wanted another shoot without the Christmas decorations. So in this episode, and these episodes, we're just going to go ahead and do another edit of the shoot for this house. Okay. I've picked out this angle. Now, this is the same room that we did last time, but it's a different angle. So we're just going to go ahead and take care of this one for this episode. I've looked through all of them, and I figured I just picked some of the most challenging ones because of how much, the contrast, or because of the existing contrast in the photo. After all, the technique that we were learning last month was specifically about that. HDR, or high dynamic range photography and editing, rather, is all about including. It's what the phrase says, right? High dynamic range. One photo doesn't have the range that it needs in order to get all the details for all the ranges of light here. So as you can see in this particular photo, you can see that the darks are really dark, so you can't really make out anything that's in this area. And over here, you see the brights are super bright, and you can't really make out what's out there either. So with the whole point is, by taking a range of photos, you range them from dark to bright, you get all the details spanning from, if you get a dark picture, you'll get all the details outside. If you get a bright picture, you get all the details on the inside and the dark portions. So the exercise of editing HDR photography and the way that we're doing it is really an exercise in blending and masking with Photoshop so that we can get all those details into a single photograph. So let's see what we have here for this particular photo. So that's a different angle. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and select all of the pictures involved here. Okay. Okay, that's a different angle. So let's go ahead and isolate those few pictures. Let's see, it's these over here. Great. All right, so I have 7 pictures here. They all include different ranges of brightness and darkness, so that we can include all the photos. So let me go through each one and explain what I'm looking for when I'm actually taking these photographs, because that's the most important part, right? So the important part is to attain these photographs while you're on location before you actually get to editing. So you have to visualize your edit before you actually take the first photo. Okay. In this case, this particular angle, we're gonna go ahead and straighten that out. Okay, so that went ahead and straightened out all the pictures. Oh, supposed to, at least. Let's do that. Let's sync. So here in Lightroom, basically, I'll show you what I did. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to edit the first picture, which I straightened out. See, I straightened out the angle. My angle was a little off when I took the picture. So here on the transform module on the right hand side, you're going to see the transform. And usually this automatic feature works pretty well. So if I do that, then it straightens out my lines. That's what I want to see. Okay, so when I'm shooting a room diagonally, I like to put the corner on a third. I don't know why. It's just a thing that I do, but I think it's actually pretty common practice um, for the angles that you take when you're doing a big room or a room period. You don't have it in the center, but you have it off to the side a little bit. So in any event, now that it's straight, I'll go ahead and select the rest of the pictures, just like this, right? So that's select the first one, and then I hold shift, and then I click the last one, right? It's pretty typical. And then I click on sync, and I select the specific thing that I want it to do. So I don't want it to do any of this stuff right now. So what I want it to do right now is transform, which is what I just did, right? And once I do that, it'll sync all the pictures and it'll line everything up. See, now they're all lined up. Okay, so now let's go talking about these pictures for a minute. This is your center exposure. So this is at 0. This is what you would consider the correct exposure for the room. Okay. Now, what I'm looking at here is that this is too dark. This is way too bright. You have no details. As a matter of fact, you'd lose detail in the doors because it's so bright. So it's terrible. But I did get that exposure so that I could get the right exposure here, right? This all looks really good. All right. So the next thing, I went a little bit darker, a stop darker. Okay. So I probably won't use this picture. I'm just looking through them. I took probably more pictures than I needed to. Out of this picture, what I'll probably use is the detail on these little candle lamps. Okay. Because the first one, it's probably too bright. Gives me a little more detail in the darker picture. Okay, where else am I gaining here? On the okay, so on this picture, I see why I took two of the same. There's a person out here. Okay, so I don't need a person in there, so I took the picture again without the person. So we'll let this picture go. Okay, boom, sweet. So we have this picture. Oh, now I see that. Okay, we'll fix that. All right, cool. So now on this second picture, I see more detail out these windows that are not as bright. So this is probably the right amount of detail that I want out here. Not on these, but on these. Okay. So that's a good one. So the lamps and the dimmer doors, right? Let's go to this one here. Let's see. I'm not sure I would use much out of this one, so let's just keep going. Out of this one, I'm just looking for the detail on this one, so I wouldn't use number 3. Let me see. I wouldn't use. I'll use 1. I'll use 2. I'll use 3. I won't use 4. I won't use 5. Oh, actually 5 is the one I want to use. So this is the detail that I want for on this picture. So I probably, out of 3 and 4 are the ones that I'm not so sure. So probably 4 I won't use. Although the door is looking pretty good compared to that. So I'll probably use 4 for that. All right. I know I'm rambling, but that's part of it. You just kind of have to go with it and kind of analyze the picture. Now this one is super bright. Perhaps I can use this one to get me more detail in the darker areas. Oh, did I just do that? Oh, okay. All right. Yep. So this is way too bright, but I'll use it for details in the darker areas if I need. So the most the ones that I'll need the most are going to be 1 and 2 for these. I'll use 3. 2 for these and for these. 3. Honestly, I probably won't use 3, to be honest. I'll take that out. 4, probably won't use that either. 5, I will use this. Actually, you know what? 4, I'll use the doors. 5, I'll use the outside. And we'll keep this one just in case. So let's go ahead, grab all the pictures now that they're all, make sure they're lined up still. We're still going to have to line them up in Photoshop. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and select all of them. Shift first and then last, and then right click, and then edit, and then open as layers in Photoshop. We'll just give it a minute here for it to load. Cool. So now I have all my layers here. So what I'm going to do is kind of prioritize my layers, but I do it as I go. So, you know, for some of you, this might seem like an kind of a weird process, but it's just the way I go. So the first thing to do is align them. So select first, shift, select last, go to edit, auto align layers, and automatic setting is just fine. All right. I hope the audio is right. I know I had some feedback issues last time, so hopefully that doesn't happen. This time I'm monitoring. I have headphones on, so hopefully it will not be the case. And if there's something, I'll be able to hear it before it happens or before it becomes a big issue. Anyway,